Hello and welcome to Virtuosity. I'm Corey, co-founder of Virtuosity, and I'll be leading you through this introduction to courage. Have you ever walked into a room and wondered how long it will take before someone realizes you don't belong there? You smile, nod, measure your words. You long for the moment you'll finally feel ready, after the next project, the next win, the next proof. But readiness keeps slipping away. Fears whisper in small, convincing ways. Don't mess this up. Don't draw attention. Don't let them see you trying. It's a quiet fear, less dramatic than danger, but just as paralyzing. It's the fear of exposure, of being found out, of not being enough. It's a feeling so common we've given it a name, one that's been studied, written about, turned into a cultural shorthand for self-doubt. In The New Yorker, writer Leslie Jamison explores it in her piece, Why Everyone Feels Like They're Faking It. She argues that this so-called imposter syndrome shouldn't be considered a pathology at all, but rather an inevitable part of being human. Every time we cross a threshold, a new job, a new role, a new version of ourselves, we enter unmapped terrain. Feeling fraudulent isn't a flaw, it's proof we're growing. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to keep moving while your voice still shakes. And the highest form of courage isn't individual, it's collective. I've never met anyone who didn't wish they had just a little more courage. To speak up, to start something, to change course. We all want more of it. So what if we stopped treating courage as a scarce, private resource and started helping one another find it? What if, instead of fixating on our own fears, we focused on creating the kind of conditions where others could be brave? Where trying wasn't mocked but mirrored. Where stumbling was part of the ritual. Reading Leslie Jamison's piece reminded me that courage isn't something we summon alone. It's something we awaken in each other. That's the real work. Not just to be brave ourselves, but to make bravery possible for someone else. So what do we really mean by courage? Courage is doing what's right, even when it's unpopular, actively discouraged, or comes at a personal cost. It's the resolve to face fear rather than flee from it, to act on conviction rather than comfort. Those with courage show determination and confidence in the face of uncertainty. They rebound from setbacks, persevere through obstacles, and keep moving forward when the outcome is unclear. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move through it with purpose. According to the leader character framework, courage is made up of 5 core behaviors. Being brave, acting despite fear, standing up for what's right for others, even in the face of resistance. Being confident, showing belief in one's abilities, decisions, and actions, and trusting in the capacity to handle challenge. Being determined, staying relentlessly committed to goals with focus and perseverance. Being resilient, withstanding difficult conditions and bouncing back quickly from setbacks. Being tenacious, persisting through obstacles and discouragement, following through until the goal is achieved. Imagine courage as a bridge stretching across a canyon. On the far side lies something you want. A dream, a change, a truth you've been avoiding. It might be something big, like starting a business or moving to a new city. Or something small, like asking a question, sharing an idea, or beginning a difficult conversation. From where you stand, the gap looks wide and the drop below is deep. Fear whispers, stay here, it's safer. But courage is the bridge that helps you cross anyway. It's built one plank at a time. Each act of facing fear becoming part of its structure. One plank for speaking up, one for standing firm, one for trying again after a fall. Even the heaviest planks, the fear of rejection, failure, or looking foolish, strengthen the bridge when you lay them down. Because courage doesn't erase fear, it carries you through it. When courage is underdeveloped, the bridge remains incomplete. Fear, hesitation, and avoidance keep you stranded on the edge. Opportunities drift by like clouds over the canyon. This is the deficient side of courage. Hesitant, unassured, and fragile. Confidence weakens, and others may miss out too. The words they needed or the stand you could have taken never made it across. Courage grows stronger when supported by other virtues. Humility gives you the openness to admit what you don't know and learn along the way. Integrity anchors your decisions, reminding you why you're crossing in the first place. Accountability steadies your steps. Knowing the bridge you build can help others find their way too. And when courage tips into excess, it turns into recklessness. You rush across before the bridge is ready. You ignore the guardrails, dismiss the risks, and mistaken boldness for bravery. This is the excess side of courage: arrogant, reckless, and stubborn. While these behaviors can bring short-term gains, over time they erode trust and stability, and people can get hurt, including you. That's why courage needs balance and support from other dimensions. Humility grounds it, helping you pause and seek advice before leaping. Humanity ensures your actions consider others. Transcendence widens your view, helping you see beyond the moment to the long-term path ahead. Courage, like a bridge, is what allows us to move from fear to possibility. Too little, and we never leave the edge. Too much, and we fall before we're ready. But when it's measured, steady, and supported, courage carries us and others safely to the other side. So now, take a moment to turn inward. What does it feel like when you're living the virtues of courage? When you face fear, take a risk, speak up, and keep going even when the outcome is uncertain. How do you show up? How do others experience you? And how do you experience yourself? Of course, we all lose balance at times. When you do, which way do you tend to go? Do you lean toward deficiency, the unfinished bridge of hesitation, doubt, or fragility, where fear keeps you standing still? Or do you tip into excess, the reckless rush forward, where confidence turns into arrogance and determination into stubbornness? When that happens, what does it look like in practice? What choices do you make? What ripple does it create for others and for you? Are there certain roles, situations, or stressors that tend to throw you off balance, nudging you too far toward caution or too far toward risk? And if so, can you see the pattern? For me, courage often feels like a paradox. Others might see me tipping toward the excess side, stubborn, bullheaded, maybe even reckless at times. And they wouldn't be entirely wrong. I recognize that drive to push through, that impatience to act, that resistance to slow down. Yet inside, I often feel the opposite, like I never have enough bravery, confidence, or resilience. It's the tension reflected in my high drive and lower temperance that keep me pushing forward, while underdeveloped humility leaves me questioning whether I'm enough. I still take action, but that imbalance makes courage feel harder won, more effortful than it should be. Over time, my relationship with fear has become more intimate. I've learned that fear isn't something to conquer once and for all, it's something to understand. Fear is often the signal that courage is required, but not all fear means the same thing. Some fears are red flags, warning us to pause or reconsider. Others are invitations, urging us to step forward. Knowing the difference has become a crucial part of building courage, because discernment is what keeps bravery from becoming recklessness. As a kid, determination and tenacity came naturally. I'd hang from the monkey bars until my hands blistered, or push through a book far beyond my reading level, just to prove I could. Did that make me brave? Maybe, but I never felt brave. There was always another layer of courage I hadn't yet reached. Perhaps that's what we call imposter syndrome, the sense that everyone else has figured out courage while you're still pretending. Yet a bit of humility reminds me that courage isn't about knowing, it's about being willing to keep learning. My confidence has strengthened as I've realized it's not rooted in competence alone, but in my capacity to keep crossing thresholds as I build my bridge. After countless workshops, we've seen that confidence is one of the most common qualities people wish they had more of. This is because many anchor their confidence in what they know, but there will always be others who know more. A stronger foundation for confidence lies not in competence alone, but in our capacity to handle whatever comes our way. Almost every day, I do something that makes me uncomfortable, and that's where courage lives. When I pause to reflect, I can see the bridge I've been building, plank by plank. The fears I face today are different from those a year ago. Take something as simple as creating these videos. Last year, I only used others' voices because I didn't want the focus on me. But I knew they could help people, and that mattered more than my discomfort. So I laid another plank, one that allowed me to be heard. The bridge keeps extending, and so does my capacity for courage. To support the development of my courage, I can rely on the help of other dimensions. I need to activate my humility, especially the vulnerability to try new things and be okay with failing. Being a co-founder of an app has helped me develop this muscle. I've become intimately familiar with rejection, setbacks, and dead ends. I also draw on integrity. Having a clear sense of what I stand for and what I want to achieve gives my courage direction and purpose. And finally, accountability. When I focus on how my actions can serve others, it becomes another source of fuel for my courage. Resilience is a hot topic, yet few people understand how deeply it depends on the architecture of character, how it draws strength from collaboration, purpose, and authenticity. In excess, though, it can push us to overcompensate by brushing aside, checking out, or wishing away the reality we face. Think about the toxic bosses, coaches, or work cultures we tolerate because we believe we're being tough. In truth, that's resilience in excess. Resilience without accountability or integrity to raise the standards of what could be. I've learned that my resilience is fueled by the creative tension between where I am and where I know I can be, a stretch that helps me not just spring back, but bounce forward from challenges or setbacks. While I often feel I don't have enough courage, I've realized I'm more likely to tip into excess. I take on too much because I have the bravery, and sometimes the arrogance, to believe I can handle it all. I've often heard people talk about arrogance as if it's something to aspire to, especially in competitive environments like sport. But arrogance isn't strength, it's the overestimation of one's abilities. And that arrogance can cloud judgment. Think of an athlete who misjudges their speed, convinced they can outrun their opponent, only to cost their team the game. It's not confidence that drives the mistake. It's arrogance without the humility to recognize and respect our limits. In my own way, I've fallen into similar traps. At times, I slip into bullheadedness, chasing ideas so hard I miss what's right in front of me. That kind of courage can steer me off course when I overlook key inputs or forget to check if an idea really connects. My appetite for progress can eclipse perspective. In those moments, I need the grounding of other dimensions. Temperance, to pause and consider other options. Transcendence, to step back and see new possibilities. Humility, to recognize my limits and ask for help. And collaboration, to draw on the strengths and perspectives of others. The key is noticing. Noticing when the bridge hasn't been built far enough, when fear holds you at the edge, hesitant, unassured, or fragile. And noticing when you've rushed too far, when bravery turns to recklessness, confidence to arrogance, or determination to bullheadedness. The clearer you see where you are on the spectrum, deficiency on the left or excess on the right, the more skillfully you can adjust. Sometimes that means pushing yourself to take another step, drawing on humility, integrity, or accountability to steady your footing. Other times, it means making sure your bridge has guardrails, supporting your courage with humanity and transcendence to stay connected to others and keep sight of the bigger picture. Courage isn't about getting rid of fear. It's about embracing it and choosing to move forward anyway. And it's not about taking one giant leap across the canyon. It's about laying one plank at a time, to raise your hand, to speak an unpopular truth, to start something new, or to keep going when it would be easier to stop. But like any bridge, courage needs balance. Too little, and you stay stranded on the edge. Too much, and you sprint ahead before the structure is sound. And while noticing those patterns matters, awareness alone isn't enough. To strengthen courage, we need more than reflection. We need practice. We need a system. That's what Virtuosity is built for. It's a training system that turns character into consistent practice. Like a gym, but for who you are. You start small, one courage behavior. Then Virtuosity walks you through bite-sized lessons and daily challenges that help you build steady habits. One rep, one plank at a time. These moments are easy to overlook, but they're what strengthen your resolve, expand your confidence, and inspire others to cross their own bridges too. That's why we train. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving with it. One plank at a time, we become who we aspire to be. So keep building, keep stepping, and keep becoming.